So what I want to do in this video is tell you a little bit about statistics, what I'm looking for the year, what I think is important for you to know. And as usual, if you have any questions, let's talk and either email or face-to-face or whatever. So to get it dialed in, here's my thinking on any class is pretty simple. I think there's the student, you, right, or the customer. There's me, right, the teacher. And then there's the subject or content, right, in this case, stats. And the interesting thing is that all three of these are connected, right? So let me give you, I happen to love statistics, right? That's my connection to it. I've been a math student for a lot longer than most of you have been alive. I look forward to building this relationship with you, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. But what my ultimate goal is that you fall in love with mathematics, specifically stats, and the story that it can tell. And we'll talk about how we're going to try to do that. But here's the interesting thing. I'm not in control of this one at all. This is all you deciding whether you enjoy statistics, want to do more of it, less of it, whatever. So keep this triangle in mind as we go along, because this is how I think about teaching after whatever, 20 years or whatever it's been. Here's the key for you. I think you learn math by practicing, right? And practicing is going to mean both daily and project curiosity things. But I think the idea of at-bats is a really important thing for you and I to consider and think about as we go through statistics this year. The other thing that I want you to think about is your curiosity, right? So what are the things that you're interested in or that would hold your interest when it comes to statistics? The fun thing about statistics, as we'll talk about in a little while, is it's really a story, right? It's really a story with numbers that you dive into and figure out how important it is or not. Nuts and bolts. So there's a couple of key things as far as our class is concerned. Everything will live on facts. I'll talk more about that in a bit. So if you ever need to know what's going on, or we can't get a hold of each other or whatever, this is our sort of our new Schoology for those of you that are returning. Okay. The other part of it is we'll have projects, which I'll talk more about that in a bit, and then we'll also use Khan as sort of the backbone of daily or weekly work for this course as we go along. Again, everything will live in facts, and then we'll talk more about these as we keep moving. Louis has a saying, and I think it's a good one, okay, that effort equals smart. Okay? And the thing that I want you to realize is that if you work hard, if the effort's there, that will translate to even good or even great grades and work, which I view as the same thing. All right. My goal in this course is to give you an opportunity to figure out, what does statistics do? What are the kinds of stories that it tells? We'll do that in both places, but this is key, right? As long as you're communicating and working, you're going to be in great shape in this course. So here's what I think about mathematics. I learned it myself and in teaching it for several decades now. You need bite-size pieces. Okay, think of snacks, right? That's the way to learn mathematics. Not all the weekend pounding through pages and pages and chapters. Okay. With that said, let me give you a quick little idea. I went to the doctor a couple days ago, and he said, "Jeff, you're almost, you're 50, and here's what you got to pay attention to." And here's what it was: exercise 3 times a week, 20 minutes, sweaty, and breathing hard. That was his rubric. Right, and I think in stats, it's a good way to think about it. If you're working 3 times a week, 20 minutes about, but if your brain is sweaty and you feel like, man, this is hard work, you're probably in good shape. If you're doing 7 times a week and it's more than 20 minutes, then we should talk. Okay? All right. The backbone of the course, as far as learning these specifics, is Khan, Okay, and you're going to use this code right here, this TXC37ACH. Okay, if you get on Khan and load that in, you will be put into our statistics 2020-21 class, and we'll talk more about how those assignments will be added and what you'll do with those, but I'll talk more about that next week. I'm really hoping two things happen for you. One is that you learn what's interesting, and then two, that there's a backbone to this course. So think about a vacation house and a real house, right? Vacation house is going to be a lot of different fun stuff that we're going to do. Real house is going to be facts. That's where you're going to live. That's where all the stuff is going to live. Okay, and we'll look at how we do that later. Biggest thing I want you to learn when you were as a student is to communicate. Doesn't matter if you ever learn any more mathematics, I hope you do, but learn how to communicate. So a couple quick things. This is my email address. Do not hesitate. This is my phone number if you need to text me. This will be our Zoom number. It won't change unless something drastic does. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thanks.